Rangers or Astros? And also, why do you like cheating in baseball so much?
It's interesting. It's interesting that everyone gets that question. So
everyone gets these questions. Well, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, America, the world, welcome again. Another riveting episode from the NQT studios. Christian G. Allen Howard III of the North is actually not with us. He is not in the studio. I am your only host today, and if you skip the episode, we understand. However, we have quite the guest today. He hails from the South. He'll at least talk about the South in his introduction because he normally does. He is wearing Yoda socks, literally here in the studio. Bright green Yoda socks with black tennis shoes. He is wearing a Jedi robe. Also, definitely loves Star Wars. His name is Hunter Archibald here in the studio, everyone. Hunter Archibald III of Sire the North. What's your middle name?
It is Lee, very regal.
Oh, Lee. So you have Hunter and Archibald, but then just like Bob in the middle, essentially.
No, it's Southern heritage. The Lee family.
See, Southern. Look how fast the Southern guy brought it. You working to bring that?
No big deal. NBD.
So for those of you who may not know Hunter, some of these questions I think will help you get to know him a little bit more and why we're interviewing the Hunter Archibald,
the third
of the North of the Shire today. So here we go. Question number one. Listen, this is very serious. Are you looking at your phone while we are recording live?
Why does it keep lighting up?
I don't know. Do you not know technology? Hunter is also old, so he has thrown his phone across the room.
I'm 40 years old,
but the Yoda
40 years
socks
young.
are still on. Okay, so were you named after a famous hunter or a butler? We ask these questions to all of our guests.
I don't think so.
Okay, famous hunter?
No. Okay. But my mom always did say if she
my mama said
if she ever had another kid, she was going to name him Fisher.
Okay.
She'd not have.
That's great. That was so you were.
That was the story.
I was
the OG. The HUNTE.
They always had Hunter on their mouths. Okay.
That's a great question.
Okay. You never asked your parents this question?
No.
You're 40 years young, man.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
We'll get into that.
We'll get into that. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. How long have you been married and how many kids do you have?
Great question.
Yeah, thank you.
I've been married since January 4th of 2014.
That was fast.
Yeah.
Way to go.
I know.
Way to go.
I studied before I came.
Yeah, you did.
To my beautiful wife, Ariel Archibald. Y'all might know her. She watches the babies every other week.
Okay.
Great mom. Great wife. 3 kiddos. Winslet. She's in ninth grade. She's 9 and in 3rd grade.
There we go.
Fiona's in 1st grade. 6. And Nash is almost 4.
Those are unique names. How did you come up with those names?
So Winslet, we were at a baby reveal thingy majigger, that they have for people, for another person.
Fancy gender reveals.
Whatever those things are, yeah. Yep. And there was a neonatal nurse there. And this is a crazy story, actually. And we were like, oh, like, what's the coolest name you've heard? She's like, oh, I delivered this super premature baby named Winslet. We were like, that's crazy. Like, we love that name. So we talked about it.
Did you already knew that you loved that name? Or that was your introduction to the name?
That was the first time we ever heard the name.
Okay.
Right? Ironically, my wife has a weird obsession with the Titanic. I don't know if that ties in with Kate Winslet playing the character in the Titanic. That's right. I know, it's
that
weird.
Might be connected there. I just thought about that.
Well, just wait till we get to the second kid, right?
Okay, yeah.
But so anyways, so we talked about it for a while. We're like, we weren't going to tell anyone because I'll say it was our concern, quotations, that you don't want to tell someone a kid's name and then them react and then it ruined the name for you, right?
Yeah.
Secretive. We were going to be first time parents. We were still, we had the baby, all that stuff. Anyways,
oh yeah.
Long story short, and so we're going, we had to induce, she's in labor, and so her doctor was like, have you told anyone the name? She's like, no. She's like, can I try to guess? We're like, yeah. And she's like, tell me what it starts with. My wife goes, W. She goes, oh, Winslet. And we both look at each other like, no. Well, she had delivered the other Winslet.
Oh, wow.
What are the odds of that?
Small world.
What are the odds of that?
That's
right?
crazy.
And I've never met another one.
At that point, it's like her name has to be Winslet then. There's no going back after that.
No, that was about 20 minutes before she was Hello World, right?
Wow.
So crazy. Fiona, the second one, we were at a wedding in Colorado.
Yep.
So those are the only 2 events we've been to in the last 15 years. No, I'm just kidding. But so we were at a wedding in Colorado. There was this like, I don't know, 11, 12, 13-year-old girl or something. We were playing, all were playing like the bags game, where you throw the bags.
Yeah.
And I was like, and someone said like Fee or something. I was like, what's your name? She's like, oh, my name's like, Fiona. And we're like, oh, we love that name. And then sure enough, it's like an Irish warrior hunter princess thing. Well, my wife's half Irish. Her mom's from Northern Ireland, right?
And your name is Hunter.
Oh, I never put that together.
Oh.
Look at that. You are so much smarter than you look. Do you know that? You really are. But then her middle name is Rose.
Okay.
Which happens to be
Titanic.
Kate Winslet's character.
Oh, my word. She does love the Titanic.
Unnatural, but I think it's one of those subconscious things.
Wait, but then we have Nash. It's not Jack.
Ooh.
That's what I'm saying. Missed opportunity.
No, yeah, it was. No, so Nash was a little more. So we were at.
You're like Nash. No one cares.
Sorry,
His
buddy.
name is just Nash.
Well, it's funny because we don't call him Nash. We call him Nashville, Nash Potato, Nash Ashito, Nash. Right?
Yeah.
We make it longer.
Yeah, of course.
But so we had gone to like Grape Fest a couple years before that, and we met like an artist lady, and she was really nice. And then we happened, she was saying, "Oh, my daughter's they just had a kid. His name's Nash." We're like, "Oh, we love that name."
Yeah.
And so his middle name's Davis, which is my wife's maiden name.
Okay.
And then we ended up seeing her like 3 Grape Fest later at another thing. She's like,
Wow.
"Oh, guess what? We got a Nash too."
Wow.
So
small world.
It's a small.
So
world.
there is no connection with Titanic and Nash. Can you make a connection? Maybe someday.
I'm sure there was a passenger.
Yeah.
No, there probably wasn't.
Do you feel like sometimes parents put a little bit more meaning, maybe the first kid or the second kid? By the time you get to number 3, you're just like, I don't know, man. Just name him whatever.
Yeah, by the third, I was
Who
like,
cares?
have you not had this kid yet? Like, what's taking so long? You know what I mean? Like, come
We've
on.
done this twice already.
I mean, that's
just
usually,
name him Nash.
Well, I will say, too, like 2 to 3 was by far the easiest, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah. Hot take on what people say.
Well,
I do think 1 to 2 is
it's
really
the hardest.
tough. Yes.
1, 2 is the hardest.
You
hands
go
down.
from like 1 to man, and then you turn around, like you put 1 down, and you turn it around. It's like,
yeah,
there's another child.
Yeah, and the first one, like, oh, I can't wait till you start moving. And the third one, I'm like, I hope you can't walk for 7 years. You know what I mean? It's like,
slow him down.
yeah, let's Forrest Gump you. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, few other warm ups here. Just
I got a dog too, by the way, Darcy.
No one asked about
Okay,
dogs, so
enough.
who cares?
Sorry,
okay,
Darcy.
listen. So these questions go to every single guest. I
Yeah.
need you to understand.
I know,
that
I've
no
listened to
matter
every
what,
episode.
Okay, thank you. Every guest gets these questions. Listen. Rangers or Astros, and also why do you like cheating in baseball so much?
It's interesting. That's interesting that everyone gets that question. So
everyone gets these questions.
So I'm an Astros fan, 2-time World Series world champion, Houston
2 times.
Astros.
Yeah, I'm sure
2
it's
times,
2 times. Okay.
twice.
Yeah.
And
the cheating part of the question?
So I've always heard in baseball, if you aren't quotation cheating, you aren't trying. So I think it's just part of the game. I don't judge other people by their sins, Mike. So if whatever the Astros had to do to they still have to hit the baseball.
Now, really, this is a question for all of our guests, and the world sends in these questions.
Sure, I'm sure they
I
do.
understand you're saying this to the world. Of course, there's no judgment from me. So you're basically saying they're trying. That's how they won. They were giving effort.
Yeah, talented.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the Houston Astros versus the state of Texas Rangers, you're going to go for like the tiny city.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold the line on that one.
That's cool. Okay, best nickname you've ever had.
I've ever had.
Yep.
It
has to be an appropriate nickname. Okay, listen, this is a family show.
Oh, my fault. Sorry, I went out of body there for a second. So this is a bit weird. And so when I was younger, all my friends would call me Da Kunta.
Okay. Oh dear. Is this
Is this
inappropriate?
It's PG-13ish.
Okay.
So they would always call me Da Kunta. Like
Da Kunta.
Yeah, weird, right? But so some funny stories through my activities in my life. Once I got my nose broken in Lubbock, Texas.
Okay.
So I was at a bar late preaching the gospel, and a Texas Tech fan punched me in the nose, blindsided.
While you're preaching.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so all my friends called me Raccoonta, like a raccoon, because I had 2 swollen eyes. That's back in the day. And then another time, you know how people do like last name, comma, first name?
Yeah.
Well, then everyone just started calling me Tada. So that was my nickname for college.
So what's Da Kunta? What is that?
Great question.
You don't know what it means?
So it was like my random name on like video games when I was younger.
Oh, like a gamer tag or something like that.
I don't know what.
There's not is there a meaning to it?
No.
Have you ever looked it up to see if there's like a
no?
a
But I'm
thing?
kind of terrified too. That's gonna.
How would you spell?
So
what
that's DAHKOONTA.
Okay.
Keep in mind you're on the church's servers, Mike.
Let's see here. What? Okay. Well, actually, Chat GPT literally can't find a meaning for the word.
Oh,
okay, so Da Kunta, very,
very unique.
Very unique. Okay, last one. Here we go. What do you do for a living?
I work in wealth management. I work for JP Morgan.
Oh, fancy. Can we say their name on this podcast?
I think so.
Are they sponsors? You can work on that for us.
That would be awesome if they were.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe not.
Give JP a call. Oh, wow. Dang. So fast. You're shooting it down.
Well, I mean, they're a really big company, right?
Okay. And are we not a big podcast here?
We're huge. That's the problem. Like, they're not big enough for us. That's what I'm saying.
I see.
Like, we need something more global.
Well, JP, if you're listening.
Yeah. Because honestly, like, I want to say they only have like $20 trillion that goes through their doors every day around the world.
That's all.
It's small.
So is that kind of what you're handling on a day-to-day basis? A few trillion?
Like half of it, yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, it'd be nice.
How long have you been doing that, or kind of in that industry?
Yeah, so about 15 years I've been in the business. I've done, I've been a broker dealer. I've been independent. I ran a hedge fund for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Wealth planning, financial planning. Should I put my contact info, all my credentials, just kind of throw that out here right now and be like, call me if you want to get together and get some money.
We can put it in the show notes.
No, I'm just kidding. I've been doing it for a long time. It's fun. Okay. I like it. So I'll tell you the story how I got into it real quick.
Yeah.
So as you know, maybe some people don't know this, I was in the Army. And so I had grown up, I lived with my mom. My parents got divorced when I was like 1. And I vividly remember to this day, like checking the Sunday paper for like stock quotes when I was little. Like,
really?
This is like early 90s. Like, stuff was still quoted in like eighths and fourths and stuff.
Oh, I remember that. But what drew you to look at
So my mom had invested for me in like these mutual funds, right? And so we would check the price every Sunday. It was like a thing we did. So I was always into it. And then like I had her set up a trading account. Scott Trade when I was like 13. It was her name, but I would like trade it and trade options and stuff. And so I always got into it. But anyways, I was in the Army, and ironically, in the Army, you have a lot of time to, well, not always, but there's times where you have time to, do things like that, trade, all those things.
Sure.
Well, what killed me was like, I went to Iraq a couple times. We got back the first time, and like all these younger kids, I was a little bit older when I went in, right? But all these younger kids, 18, 19, they went over there for like 13, 14 months, however long we were over there. And they got a $40,000, $50,000, $30,000, depending on their rank. Not a ton of money. It was all tax free, and then like all of them are broke within like 30 days. They go to the car dealership and buy the stock Mustang at 19%. They go to establishments that aren't that savory and are just dropping $100 bills left and right. They're going and buying giant flat screen TVs for the barracks that just get broken the first and so it was just, I was like, man, someone should like help these people out. Ironically, I don't tend to work with young military soldiers, but there are companies that do, which that's awesome.
Which we salute you.
Great
companies
for them.
That do that. Thank you.
It's a big need.
It's still a starting point. You saw a need. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to serve the exact clients.
And I would love to help them. It's
What's something you've seen then? Okay, so in 15 years, give or take, whatever, 15 years ish, like the average person, kind of what they think about money, or maybe some typical struggles. Has that been the same thing from like 15 years ago to now, or have you seen like a trend, like a change?
So could go really deep with that question.
Yeah.
So money is one of those things where it's like you have to have it, and it's like a tool. Yeah. And it's just you can't get away with it.
Yeah. Tool's a good word for that.
Right. It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But like I would say the average person, like a lot of it depends on how you were raised, how you grew up, all those things. But it's really easy for it to take like control. And it's like one of those things where like you could live within your means until your means are greater. And now all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, maybe I should.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying everyone keeps up with the Joneses type stuff, but like,
tempted to compare. Yeah.
But just the thing that's changed the most in 15 years, just the magnitude of like the wealth that's being created.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, very early on, I won't get into specifics or anything, but like your average, deal or person you're working with just pales in comparison to the average today. It's kind of like mind-boggling. But then you think about it, what was a gallon of milk 15 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Not to turn this into a Fed podcast or anything, but
Well, back in your day, bread was a nickel. It was a long time ago for you.
17 cents, and I rode the horse uphill to school both ways,
And not that this is necessarily going to be.
Aren't you older than me?
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
So, not that this is going to be necessarily about money today, but it is interesting on how much you're saying wealth has increased and maybe the options and the capability to do that.
100%.
But at the same time, I bet the personal finance, like education, has nowhere near matched that.
Oh, that's gotten way worse.
So you almost have more incompetent people, not necessarily that everyone's dumb out there, just incompetent on the topic, while wealth has increased, which just means a larger gap.
It's great for what I do for a living, right?
Yeah.
Because then people come in, and most people in an intimate setting, very rarely do you get someone that they know what they don't know, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, wow, you're really passionate about this. Oh, really? You like to talk about this? Oh, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I've never even thought of like the simplest question of like, I ask people like, what's the purpose of your dollars? Like, what do you mean? I was like, all right, well, you have these dollars. What do you do with this dollar? What do you do with that dollar? And they're like, I've never thought of it like that.
I was going to say, I bet they've never, I bet it's a brand new concept.
100%.
That's so wild.
And I'll be honest, I know we'll get into this on the podcast, but like, because I was
podcast that we're on right now. The literal thing that we're recording right now in this moment.
I called it the podcast.
Okay, I was just curious if we're
isn't that the name of
it? You think it?
I'm just kidding. Anyways, I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Oh no, but so like I came to like kind of Christianity, religion way later in life.
Yeah,
and ironically, being so involved day to day with money. And the fact of how much it's talked about in the Bible and everything. Yeah. That was actually something I could kind of like cling on to and relate to initially. Yeah.
Well, that's actually a good segue because that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. I think you have a really unique story, just personally.
Okay.
And okay, cool. What does that mean? What does that mean, Mike?
Yeah, cool.
And a really, I think you have a really, really cool perspective. Okay. And even from someone who's come into the faith more recently, it's not like you've been following Jesus for 39 out of your 40 years, right?
Correct.
I mean, I know you were preaching, in the bars.
That was just a one-off,
yeah. That's just random
one-off, yeah.
So how long, just kind of quick, like how long have you been following Jesus now? Like, how did that come about for you?
Sure. So I would say I became a believer, right? I got baptized about 3 years ago. It was August 2022.
Okay.
Pretty sure. Yeah, August 2022.
Yeah, means a lot to you. It's just kidding. I'm messing with you.
It was 709.
Come on.
And it was it was a couple years before that. So like when I had shared my story, like with church life group and stuff, basically whole life, growing up, religion was kind of like a bad word in my house.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I was like atheist or anything. Agnostic would be the word, even though I didn't even know what that was, for 30 years, right? Kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say that's kind of what I was, just not really, sure. Went through different thought processes. Like there was a period where I was like, I wonder if there's dragons in the middle of the earth, and that's what like made everything, right?
Yeah.
That was a.
You're not the first person.
Past life.
Yeah.
But so it was just like a spiraling. I basically, you call it like pick a sin list, right? I check every box, left, right, up, and down.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of hit, the rock bottom place that, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And it was on Thanksgiving Eve, I remember 2020. And then, just had like can vividly remember. It's weird to talk about and describe how many times I do it, but just, I like remember like the Holy Spirit moment.
Wow.
Right. And, I definitely wasn't an expert the next day, but like definitely there's a lot of things that I've done in life that all of a sudden, like there was no struggle not to do.
Mm-hmm.
Is that does that make sense? Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously sinful being, right?
Yeah.
I say a lot of bad words. Luckily I haven't slipped yet. Definitely a sinful person, but like it's definitely been a cool journey from there. And so I didn't really know anything about the Bible. I've had tons of crazy like realizations since then of just, scripture and everything. And
did you know anything about Jesus like 5 years ago? Like you just heard about him, or like what was it? It was end of the rope, or I'm 35, or this is where I am in my life. And is there more? Like what was that? You said like kind of like rock bottom.
So like it just got to a point with, wife at the time, my wife, right? She'd be like, "What'd you say?" Go to the couch.
Yeah.
Just kidding. She didn't make me do that.
Yeah. Except for tonight.
Yeah, except for tonight. So love, don't listen to the podcast, okay? I kind of had a few slippy slips. No, but so she was she was raised, going to church and stuff.
Yeah.
And she'll tell anyone like her biggest like reservation about us dating, getting married, is that I wasn't like a believer, right?
Yeah.
Like, I was always concerned for her. My charm won her over.
Oh, yeah, wow. Humble brag. That's just good jokes here. We're just
okay. Anyways, but so I'll take a step back. Let me explain to you her trying to bring me to the church real quick, and then it'll tie it all together.
Yeah.
So I got out of the Army in 2013. We moved up here. We lived in Keller in 2014. We got married, bought our house here in Grapevine in 2014. Been there since, right?
Okay.
Great time to buy it, by the way.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah.
No problem. Just
we're
to rub that
currently
in.
looking.
Right, so are we. Just to be fair.
Love on the prices.
No, no. I wish I would go back to that.
Man.
But so she tried to take me around to different churches for a couple years, and like, I am not making this up. Every single service we went to was the tithing service.
Really?
100%.
Were you just immediately like,
I looked at her, I was
we
like,
go.
do any of these places just not want my money?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's a common misconception. Yeah.
It is. And because like this building was built, in like 2015, 16?
The current one we're in here in Grapevine, Texas, 2017.
Okay, 17. So I want to say we probably came here like 17 or 18.
Yeah.
And we came a couple times. And then, they have the membership meeting, and this is pre-2020, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not,
Yeah.
And so we fill out the little paper, and, I'm doodling on it and all that fun stuff. And then so we go to meet Ross.
Yeah.
Panera, of course, right?
Of course.
That's where Ross
Yeah.
likes to take you in.
Happy Panera.
Yeah. And, he's with my wife. He's like, hey, yeah, I love it. He looks at me. He's like, so you, right? And I was like, yeah, what's up? And... And afterwards,
what's going on?
Afterwards, I was like, I don't really get it. My wife's like, yeah, we can't get into the church because you're not a believer.
Sure.
I was like, oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
But I will say, I remember Ross drew. He hasn't done it lately, but he drew the bridge cross thing, which I had it on a napkin on my fridge for like, even though it was years later till kind of I was saved, I still had that as a napkin on my fridge.
Like from that meeting? Like you kept that?
the Panera napkin. The
super
tan,
cool. Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
It didn't. I don't know what ended up happening to it, which is a bummer. Maybe I can get him to do another one for me and like sign it. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, go back in time.
Yeah. But anyways, so we got to that point. But so the point of that story is Ross would like every month or two just send me a little text, or he likes to send the voice messages, stuff like that. So anyways, we get all the way there, have that moment. But my wife had got involved with a life group in like 2019.
Okay.
And so she'd been going to that for like a year. And so like I think if she wouldn't have been in that position and been like getting stronger faith and all that stuff, I don't know if we would be in the same, I don't even know if we'd be married today kind of thing, right? So like that somehow like held on, and she had the grace to kind of work, start to work things. And obviously me coming in from the other side, I'm sure that was helpful, right?
Sure.
And so, but I think if she wasn't in that position, it's crazy how things kind of like happen for a reason. And you even think back over like decades and decades of life, of like all these things that have happened that you would have never realized were kind of like, touched by God kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
that 100% were. 100%. Because like I went through the Army, I had multiple, all these things. Like, not religious at all. Like never even thinking about it, but it's just like, I'm here. I think all my toes, all my finger, everything.
It's crazy looking back now, especially for you for the 40, emphasis 40 years.
Yeah, we've talked about that a few times.
Don't worry about my age, but just your age.
Fair.
But it is interesting to go, okay, man, I can now see a little bit. We still have more life to go on how God's like threaded our lives and made things work, and it's like shaped who we are. But in the moment, it's so hard to think that in the moment, because you lose that perspective because you're so focused on 100% the now. What was like, did you have, besides the tithing, were there assumptions you had about Christians or church like early on, and like has that changed since then?
Whew.
You have like a couple like ones. I mean, a lot of people do, and I had my fair share of them too, because I came to Jesus way later in life. So,
I mean, let's see here. It's funny because
he's pulling out a list right now. So there's a scroll there.
Item number 17.
It's rolling across the room. Wow, that's crazy.
So you just like, if you're on the outside looking in, that's what it feels like. Especially like when you first kind of make the 100% put your foot over the line.
Oh yeah,
it's
weird.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's so weird,
and like
feels awkward.
Awkward's Awkward's a good way to
That's
describe
probably
it.
that might even be being nice. Actually, I
could drop a lot of other words.
I had a hard time with that.
Me too. And and you just assume all these people are these just like shining lights, great people, especially ones that like work at the church and work for the church, right? As long as you don't watch the news all the time.
No, but you think they're almost like
you just think everything's perfect, and you're like
Christians, or they're great.
You're
or
a
whatever.
scumbag, right? You're like just this POS, and you're super sinful.
Yep.
But then over time, you start to realize, like, wait a minute, you're sinful too. Okay, so I'm like that on my own. But I will say, like the biggest takeaway initially and early on, was like not having shame, if that makes sense. So like the shame, like I could still feel like a POS. But like the shame was kind of offloaded. But yeah, coming into it, especially like joining a life group, and coming in there and definitely being like more off the cuff than some of the guys in there. And you know most of the guys in my life group, I'm pretty sure, right? So that was an interesting experience, to say the least, because they're talking about like whatever we're reading, and like my interpretation of it's light, like could not be more opposite. And so that, and like I would say, I know you had asked me the other day, like, what are some things that you've struggled with the first couple years? I gave a lot of thought to this question, because I was like, one that like racks my brain, like now I'm not going to sleep tonight, is when the free will conundrum of like that. To me, it's like one of the craziest thought experiment, game theory type. Like
the fact that we have free will,
right?
Is that?
And but it's like you have free will, but God knows what you're going to do. But if he knows what I do, but he's not influencing what I do. You know what I'm saying? That's one. And then this one's going to sound silly.
No, it's not.
But the old earth, new earth thing.
Okay, so explain what you mean by that.
Okay, so
people have different takes. So it's just 100%. For anyone listening, kind of.
So I'd never heard of this until a couple years ago. What's the really nice Rick? Right, the really nice gentleman, super smart dude. Dr. Rick.
The universe who's listening to this podcast probably has no idea who Dr. Rick is.
Dr. Rick.
We'll call him Dr. Rick.
He came to our life group one time, and so I learned very quickly that my entire life group was New Earth, and I was like, oh, I'm more old Earth. And so it's basically like you're deciphering how old the Earth is, like based on scripture, and I won't go into the science, both sides, but that's just like rocked my brain. And I've read about it a lot, and then like carbon dating. I'm not going down the things, but
doesn't that go into when Jesus returns? Aren't you talking about kind of like he's renewing the old? Are you talking about the old?
No, so I'm talking about like the physical old.
Oh, you just mean like how long it's been around?
Like Earth isn't 5 billion years old; it's 7,000 years old, or something in between.
Yes,
and that's such a hard concept to even think about.
Oh yeah,
and I still don't know what side of the fence I'm on. It goes back and forth depending, because I'll hear one thing and then the other.
Would it change any of your current beliefs or following Jesus, regardless of what side you landed on for that? Just curious.
No, I don't know.
I'm just curious.
That's a great question.
Yeah. I don't know if there are so many things I know. I feel like on this side of heaven, I don't know if I'm ever going to get the answer to.
Right.
But also when I think about some of the topics, I don't know if it would change much.
Probably not.
Outside of the occasional, whatever, debate or conversation with person or interesting food for thought. But is it really going to actually change what I do tomorrow? Or how I raise my kids, or at least for me, I'm speaking for me. So I just don't know if it's going to have that big of an effect for me.
No, it's like if out of the blue an alien lands on Earth, is God not real now? Right?
Yeah. Like, now, is it really interesting that an alien landed on Earth?
Yeah,
obviously.
But like, it's not like I'm just going to be like, oh, okay,
you'll throw the whole thing out just because of that.
Yeah, everything I know is wrong now. No, you know what I mean.
I had a hard time with. I thought there's a couple things I thought. One, I just thought Christians were weird. Which, no offense to weird Christians out there.
Yeah, to be fair, some are. I mean, that's okay.
Yeah, sure. But it's weird. Everyone.
Shoot your
Everyone's
shot,
weird.
live your life.
Everyone's odd. I definitely thought that they were kind of like these perfect people, like you're saying. I also thought Scripture, the more I learned about it, I almost kind of naively thought it would have an answer for everything. And so here's an example. Perfect example about an alien. Alien lands. Okay, you're not going to find a verse in the Bible that addresses aliens.
Right.
And that's okay.
Right.
That book can't address. It even says in there it couldn't even address all the things. Even all the things. There was so much more that Jesus did.
Right.
That people read the Gospels or go, oh, this must be the full account. it literally says if it accounted for all that,
Yeah.
you wouldn't even be able to hold it within a book. So how much more did he do?
Right.
So there's still a big learning curve on. I love what you said about shame. On we can feel, we can be hurt or be upset that maybe we've chosen something wrong today.
Right.
But we don't have to live in that.
Correct.
Which pre-Jesus, I don't think we knew what to do with that. So we probably turned to, at least for me, I don't know, partying, drugs, alcohol, whatever. You try to like numb the pain with something. But that's definitely, it's an interesting take on what you're saying on shame. You actually have a place to, or a person to give it to.
Yeah. And I just, I'm not saying that, it's not the proverbial get out of jail free card, right? Like,
sure.
I'm not going to feel shame for anything. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. It's kind of missing the point of
right. But it definitely made things kind of like easier to. Easier is not the word, but it made things like it made it easier to make sense, I guess.
Yeah.
And start to make sense of things.
So if we're talking 5-ish, so basically we're talking 5-ish years, give or take.
Yeah.
Or 3. You said baptized 3 years. So let's say 3 to 5, whatever. 3-ish years.
Yeah.
Okay. What's something that
mid-30s?
What's ish? What's something that's like brought you a lot of joy now that you've had some years under your belt? That when you look back and you're just like, man, I'm so thankful for blank, as I've been following Jesus now.
You mean like something like just in general, or like
sure in general? I mean, like about your faith. I mean, just with your
family and
something
stuff.
that God's maybe taught you or shown you.
Yeah, so I would say on the like family, just a different perspective of wife, marriage, kids.
Yeah.
Things like that.
The one wife, by the way.
Only wife.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
There was only one.
Yeah. Okay. Just
No
for the record,
what was said earlier.
Set the record straight.
Record is straight.
One wife only.
One
wife. One.
The one. She is the Neo.
For you.
For me.
The Neo.
Yes.
For Dakunta.
Ta-da. Anyways. So just like the interaction with family, the purpose of family, really marriage in general. Like after the fact, it's like, well, like why do you even get married if you're not right? Like if you're not a believer, like what's the point?
So how would you talk about that now? So let's say your daughter tells you in 5 years, or 10 years,
14. That's a little young.
No, my bad. But let's say she's talking about it with you. Like, Dad, what's the big deal? Why would the other guy need to be a believer? Like, how would you answer that now?
Ooh, obviously her mom's more equipped for that question currently, I would say. That's a tough one for me. I don't know. I've never thought of that.
It's a good thing. Why are we interviewing you? Let's just bring your wife in here. So let's just, all right, well, thanks for being here. I'm just kidding. No, I've had this conversation with her daughter.
Okay.
And she's about to be 13.
Okay.
But just in general, in theory of the conversation, I mean, here's my kind of like street level thing. I just don't see how that's going to work. Like you have two completely different sets of values.
Right.
And I'm not just talking because I happen to be a Christian. I'm not even necessarily saying a Christian or a non-Christian thing. Bringing two people together that have two completely different sets of values or belief systems or traditions, like that's going to be, I actually don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Outside of the Lord.
At the end, they're not going to be there either.
No.
Right.
And then how do you know how to raise kids if you have kids together?
Sure.
How do you make decisions if you have one spouse that goes, well, I think this way, the other one goes, I think this way.
Right.
There's no one or nothing to submit that to. I actually don't know how a marriage works, to be honest. And I'm talking a biblical marriage.
Right. Because there's tons of marriages.
Yeah, the world can define it, whatever.
Sure. Right, but that biblical marriage, right.
A biblical marriage.
Well, and like your biblical marriage, you have a little thing in the Bible, there's, I don't want to say like black and white roles, but it talks about different roles for husband and wife and things supposed to do all those things. But it's like, what if you're trying to be a servant husband or a servant wife, but then your spouse isn't.
Yes.
But then they're supposed to, like, that's just, I agree. How does that work?
I don't know. And I feel for people because I've seen it in my own life. I saw it sometimes with my parents before they got divorced. Like I actually feel for them because if I wasn't a believer, I feel like I would go into marriage like the way I dated, and it would be like, well, if we don't agree on this is just over. You just move on. I think if I wasn't a believer, I would probably just go, well, it must not be the wife for me anymore. So I'll just go
Yeah,
get
go to
I'll
the
just go
next
get another
one. Yeah.
wife. And it's just so empty. And I don't know. I feel for people out there. Like I hurt
Yeah.
with them because I know how much the struggle is.
Yeah.
And I didn't know either till following Jesus, where it's like, okay, I lay down my life for my wife. And if we have a disagreement, we go to the Lord. We go to an authority above both of us.
Right.
And man, I'm thankful for when you have two people who are willing to lay it down and kind of submit that. And it's a beautiful picture for marriage.
It is.
I don't know how it works outside of that, honestly.
Let me just ask you this tangent one off. So you find yourself, you're at the dinner table, the kitchen, you're cleaning, let's say you're doing the dishes, and your wife's just laying into you, right? She's just like, Mike this, Mike that.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at her and go, hey, did you consult with God before you started berating me?
Have I ever done that?
Yeah.
So,
'Cause I feel like you just you turn into your own raccoonta, if you know what I'm saying.
I
right?
mean, in that moment, I think if you stop any Christian while they're having a rough kind of calling out moment, or the heat's turned up and you're like, basically, hey, did you spend time with go spend some time with Jesus or go pray?
Is that the equivalent of like hey, calm down?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I think biblical calm down.
You're going to immediately just get like the response and a punch in the face. And to be fair, whenever I've like run hot and I'm just sitting or whatever you want to call it, and someone's like, Mike, just go spend time with Jesus. Here's the deal. They're right, by the way. But you want to tell them to shut up. Like, you're just like, no, I'm fine.
I told my wife once, I was like, you should pray about that. Like in a fight.
In the moment?
Yeah. And I don't remember what it was for, what happened, but I remember it didn't turn out well.
Have you told her to calm down?
So that's like one of her pet peeves.
Well, you can't tell the woman to calm down.
But
I
say to my kid, I just naturally tell people to calm down. I'm like,
you tell your kids also if they're like throwing a fit, hey, calm down.
Yeah, just calm down.
Has it ever worked for you?
No, like one of my daughters will be throwing a fit, I'll be like, calm down, and my wife will be in the other room. Don't tell them to calm down.
Now I'll tell our kids to calm down because I know it's gonna rile them up, and I just want to like poke the bear.
I'm a big bear poker.
I don't think I've ever had a human go, you're right. I should just
what
calm
was I thinking?
I feel relaxed now, and thank you for pointing this out in my life.
We should do this again sometime, right? Yeah, it's the biblical calm down. That's
that has not worked. So you've learned, one of your joys, your perspective on your family, obviously telling them to calm down and poking the bear with your wife. You've really grown as a Christian over the last 5 years. Congratulations. What's something that, what's been the challenge for you?
Ooh, like in my faith journey?
Sure.
My walk?
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, there's tons of, every day is a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Everything's a challenge. I would say in the corporate world, it tends to be not the same, right? As your beliefs. That comes with employees, peers, clients.
It's pretty rare to find that in the workplace.
100%. And we, there is some, but that's it's just a weird, because it's just like you say, from a value standpoint, and then from like an age standpoint too. So like even, a 22-year-old Christian guy and a 40-year-old Christian guy, walk into a bar, that's how a joke starts, right?
Yeah.
But like, even like, there's a guy that works at my work that he teaches Sunday school at a Catholic church and stuff. But like, we've had like some nice conversations around that where I feel like without that connection, there's not much in common between someone half my age. Yeah. So the struggle is a lot of people, like, they don't feel that, or they believe different things like that. That can be a struggle. Mm-hmm. And I really, like, you read this story, right? And you have Jesus, who's perfect in every way, shape, and form, right? And you're never going to be you're not even going to be in the same hemisphere of
nowhere close.
But it's hard because it's like, oh, you want to be good, but it's like you make the same mistakes, you make the same issue, over and over and over again. So I say that it could just be a struggle, but a struggle from the sense like, it is what it is. Yeah. Which that's another. My wife hates when I say that. Doesn't hate, but she's like, you can't just say it is what it is. You need to have the conversation, because I'll give you a thing. I'm like a pretty outgoing guy, but I shut down emotionally very quickly. Like I'm not
which is a lot of guys.
Correct.
Right? That's out there for a lot of people.
But so like, the whole love languages and everything. My wife's is bonding, like close time, like person, like conversation, things like that. And so I have these little mannerisms, like the calm down, like the it is what it is. Like those are like the worst things.
Oh yeah,
you can say when someone's trying to engage like
100%
emotionally with you, right?
Yes.
So like that's something I struggle with, and I want to be better, but it's just hard because
Sure.
you're kind of wired that way, and it's hard to rewire, right?
Yeah.
But I'm trying to be better at that.
Well, yeah, no, I think it's a struggle for all of us. I would say I legitimately am the worst sinner that I know.
Yeah,
right. And it's so it's such a strange dichotomy because I know this. The older I get, the more I follow Jesus, the more sinful I know I am because, like you said, I still make mistakes. I'm honestly gonna make mistakes. It's not a free pass, but I will make mistakes for the rest of my life until Jesus returns, right? Or I pass. So it's so interesting because I'm the worst that I know.
Right.
I'm also forgiven just as much today than I ever was on day one. And so somehow it's like, praise God, there's a tremendous amount of freedom and there's this humility of, I also know that I don't know. I think that helps me love the next person that I'm talking with because because it is what it is, like you're saying, and we're on the same playing field and I'm no better. Dude, we're following Jesus is the one who's done everything.
Right.
We're on the same, we are literally on the same level. Doesn't matter our titles, doesn't matter our experience, doesn't matter if you're 80 like you are, congratulations, or if I'm 40, much younger than you. It doesn't matter. Or the thief on the cross. It's like his last couple statements. He follows Jesus at the end, and he was a thief.
Right.
Like pretty much maybe his whole life. Maybe he wasn't. Who knows? No one's ever done a story on that.
We don't.
Maybe
they should write a book about
They should write a book, make a movie about that.
Yeah.
So anyway, it helps me think, man, that realization is humbling. And it's challenging, but it's also like a good thing ultimately at the same time.
Like you get to the end of the day and it's like, man, I send this, I send that, but tomorrow's a new day where I can try again.
Yeah.
We already know what's going to happen. Yeah. Right. You don't go, there's no such thing as a sinless day, right?
Yeah. I mean, for you.
Fair. For me. Humble brag.
No, but hey, the Bible talks about this. Mercies are new every morning. And it's like he says, it's not a free pass to sin. And then also, we don't have to walk in shame to go, I'm going to mess up tomorrow 45 times. Well, that's dumb.
Right.
But it is a new day. New
100%.
opportunities, new day. Has anything surprised you?
Oh, surprised me.
You're almost off the hot seat here. I love the hot seat. The hot seat's amazing. So we love the hot seat. Let's go.
So I would say it's surprising how like easy it is. Easy is a strong word. No, how easy it is that like once I kind of had that moment, made that transition.
Yeah.
How easy it was to just have like a totally different perspective on things. Like, there's so many things like chewing my nails that I couldn't stop if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But like there's so many things that were easy to stop when I, had that moment.
Why do you think that is?
I mean, it's the Holy Spirit, like, right? It's the Holy Spirit. It's got to be, right? Like, what else would it be?
Yeah. Can't be you.
Certainly, sir, not me, sir. No. But no, it's just, it's hard to explain. Because like I said, it's still simple things I do, but there's tons of things I've done or, did, and that I just, like, don't even think about.
Yeah.
And like, so it's interesting. Like, we did counseling and stuff a lot, which, big fan of, that's a weird thing. I'll tell you this funny story. So like we went to this one counselor and it was a guy and it's like a marriage counselor. And like the first meeting we're basically sitting there and I say, he listens to me and listens to my wife. He basically is like, looks at my wife. He's like, yeah, this is your fault. I was like, oh gosh.
Oh, did he say it like that?
Pretty much. Like,
wow.
It probably
interesting counselor.
Yeah. So we ended up going to another counselor.
Was this like on a 1-800 like TV ad?
No, but I mean, it was a biblically based but I think he was more for probably just like men, maybe not couples.
Yeah. Wow.
We ended up going to another counselor. That was a lady, and it was great because like she understood where I came from about everything too. But I think like her delivery helped me and my wife kind of fit more, right? Like it was more, like I don't know the right words for it, but it was definitely
it helped.
But yeah, big fan of all that. But I even forgot where my point was going here, but what was I saying before that? Sorry.
You were saying how much you love counseling. You were thinking about that for a future career for yourself. Then you wanted to talk about the weird male counselor who told your wife that she was all wrong. Gosh.
No, I forgot what it was. I had a point from all of this.
We're talking about just kind of what, what
Like
surprised you.
Yeah.
And, you get into counseling and you're talking with the counselors and, there's not much more.
Why is your voice getting deeper?
There's not much more I can do to help you.
I'm counseling.
My voice does change as I'm talking.
No, basically just we'll rope it all back in here. It just came down to, being able to talk about things you've done, kind of, meet on the same page.
Yeah.
Those are things I would have never been open to ever, right? Like that's weak.
That's what I was thinking. Is like years before, you probably would have never said, "Oh yeah, sure, let's go do counseling."
No, that's dumb.
Which side note for counseling, probably a good thing for people to hear. Counseling like a budget. Okay, let me throw you a financial thing.
Ooh.
So people hear budget. You tell me if you had this conversation. I've had this conversation with people, so there's no doubt you have.
Okay.
They hear, personal budget. Oh well, I'm not in trouble with my money, or I don't need to be strapped. And it's like, that's not what a budget means. A budget doesn't mean. So if you think of business, just simple, but JP Morgan, they have an operating budget.
Yeah.
Are they hurting for money? Clearly they're not hurting.
No, they're not.
So counseling, I think people hear, well, I'm not like that messed up to go to counseling. It's like, that's not what that means.
No, you don't have to be messed up.
No, in fact, just counseling, it's just good. It's just good. Good sense. It's like, man, it's just good wisdom to.
I mean, do you only go to the doctor once you get Ebola or like cancer, right? Or do you go get checkups, right?
Well, so ironically, you know what? I think a lot of people don't do checkups. They want to go when it's like, well, and when I get really sick. And it's like, no, a checkup is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Counseling is great. A budget is great. Wise to do.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Except for the first counselor you went to. All right. So last question. So, because, there's lots of people listening. They're all in different places.
Sure.
Like they're followers of Jesus, atheists. It doesn't really matter actually where people are at.
Sure.
Our goal is just have a regular conversation. It's just like anyone sitting with us, having a cup of coffee, doing whatever.
Sure.
So being that you're just thinking about who's listening right now, and if you could go back in time a handful of years. Right. So before you follow Jesus, what would you say to yourself?
Other than buy more Bitcoin?
Bitcoin and Shiba. You have the vision for Doge and
oh man,
and some fart coin that's out there.
Hey Hunter, there's this company called Tesla.
Yeah.
Buy shares. I don't know. I would probably tell them if I'm talking to myself, right?
Yeah. That was the question.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I'd probably tell myself like, hey, like let go, like drop the pride, drop the just drop everything, just like let whatever's there like flow into you, kind of something like that. Just like because. I don't want to say you wasted years, right? Because the years, everything you've done got you to the point where you're at.
Yep.
But there's just like how much further along could you maybe be if you got going earlier? Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
Which on the flip side, it's ironic because I'm friends with fellow believers that have been believers their entire life that, maybe they're behind a spot I may be in something, or vice versa, right?
Sure.
So
like
different topics,
we're all
everything,
different places,
right? 100%. And so it's just but the sooner you get there, the earlier you can do whatever it is you're meant to do. So to say, you know what I mean?
So kind of let go. What do you think you were holding on to? Or like, were you just stressing about like things of life to like you don't need to stress over?
No, it was mainly just a pride thing.
It comes so easy. It's so challenging.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I have this amazing radio voice.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. Just listen to it.
Unfortunately, we're not on video because I'm a handsome.
Yeah, and people can see your Yoda socks.
No,
your long socks actually.
Yeah,
100 degrees outside, and you're wearing long Yoda socks.
I'm coming from practice. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jedi training practice.
I had lightsaber fighting today. Okay. But no, yeah, it's just it's just in general, like it's you want you want to help, you want to give back, you want to go to wherever it is you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I guess, I wouldn't change anything I've done.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean by
Sure.
that. Like,
Yeah. 100%.
maybe I would have changed a few things.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Of course.
it got you to kind of where you're at today.
Yeah.
Right?
And you've
So-
seen what the Lord has done
Yeah.
with your life up to this point.
Yeah.
Which is great. Man, thank you. Okay, this takes you off the hot seat.
Woo!
So you did it. You are off the official, let's call it the official interview hot seat. However, we are now moving at this point in time to the lightning round. It is the
Lightning
world's
round.
famous NQT lightning round. Hunter knows all about this because he's listened to all of our episodes.
Every single one, even the ones that aren't listed.
These are the rules to the lightning round.
Okay.
You cannot overthink them.
Okay.
I have a smattering of questions. We're going to go through them really fast.
Can you tell me
why
what
it's called
smattering means?
lightning. You know what? I don't know. I'm saying smattering like it's multiple, but then you also
Yeah. Can you
smattering
use that
like
word
you
in a
smash.
like? Give me a definition of that word.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a smattering of questions right now for the lightning round. That is your What more do you need? I just I use it in a sentence twice.
I feel like it's one of those words where it's like nobody really knows what that means,
Sure.
but I know what you mean by
You
it.
know what I mean.
100%.
So you want me to use it in a sentence again? Because we're
use it in a
wasting
sentence.
lightning round question. Okay, here we go. Coming in hot. If you can see any music artist in concert, who are you going to pick?
Kesha.
Okay. East Coast or West Coast?
Third Coast.
Okay, that's nothing. Mountains.
That's Houston.
Okay, mountains or beach?
Beach all day.
Oh, there we go. Motorcycle or jet ski?
Jet ski.
Greatest sports team ever assembled besides the Astros?
2005 UT national champion Longhorns.
Oh, I remember that game. Gosh, that
Vince
was an
Young, baby.
amazing game at the end.
That was
I was
awesome.
jumping up and down.
Yeah.
Best pizza in Dallas-Fort Worth.
You know, we eat Wise Guys all the time. I love
Wise Guys is good.
Wise Guys
Wise
is so
Guys is
good.
good.
Yeah.
Shout out to Wise Guys.
Yeah.
Be a sponsor. Best coffee shop in town.
I love that Redefined coffee shop.
Oh, yeah.
You ever been over there?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
good.
100%. I
Yeah.
do like that.
It's
They
good.
also could be a sponsor.
They
You
could.
go ahead and reach out to all your contacts.
I think the owner is I think he went to school at Grapevine Faith where my kids
He's
go.
actually standing right behind you.
What?
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Thank you. Running or lifting?
So I'm retired from running, as you know. I do lift, but I don't like it.
How would I know you're retired from? How would anyone?
From my marathon video. Oh. Have you not seen that video?
No, I just wanted to leave the silence. We'll talk about this later.
Okay.
Favorite comedian?
Man.
Ooh, got him on that one. He's torn.
Like, say, maybe
It's a lightning round.
Dave Chappelle, Chris
Oh,
Rock.
okay.
something
Okay,
like-
that's fine.
something
Yeah,
like
pick one. Dave Chappelle is what you
Yeah,
said.
Dave Chappelle.
If you were a superhero, who would you be?
that. Spider-Man?
I don't know, man. It's your answer. It's a form of a question. Last one. If someone were to narrate your life story, who would it be?
Matthew McConaughey.
Of
obviously.
course. All right. He did
Obviously.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, man.
You got any final words for the NQT universe, the fans?
Something like profound or just in general?
Just a question. I can cut this part out if you don't have any final words. Just leaving you the mic.
No, but I will tell you after the fact. I got to tell you about my marathon video, but we could do it off mic.
Okay,
It's
we're
pretty
probably not
awesome.
going to leave this part inside the episode.
That's okay.
We're gonna add it. We're gonna add a new ending in there. Well, thank you so much.
Oh
No, really.
This is our 9th take of the ending.
That's
everyone,
no one
just
knows
so you
this.
know
No
that.
one knows this. No, I really do appreciate just. I love how just easygoing you are, and we can just laugh.
Sure.
We've done this We've already done this a million times, just hanging out. But I really do think. I think you have a great story, and I think there's just people. I think it's kind of hard later in life. You kind of get set in your ways. You
Yeah.
get going, and to get to a place to know, like, man, you know what? Something about this isn't it. And it's challenging following Jesus. Like, while it's easy on one level because it's everything he's done, you're still you, me, and others. But we're talking about you right now.
Sure.
You still have to choose the godly thing versus how many worldly decisions that are out there.
It's like the easiest and hardest thing all wrapped into one.
And,
Does that make
you,
sense?
Yeah, and you doing that in your marriage and as a father, man, that's great. And so I just really, really encouraged by it. Really appreciate your story. Really appreciate you coming
Is
on.
that a tear on your cheek right now?
There's a couple tears coming out, so we add water for effect. So
No, this is fun though.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you very much.
Sure. Love the
Yeah,
podcast.
it's awesome.
man.
Love the pod.
Love the podcast.
Thanks so much for joining us. please consider rating and reviewing our podcast and hitting subscribe on whichever platform you prefer. Remember to keep moving forward because we're not quite there.